Welcome back to the latest Freakin' 2 food review. On today's menu, we've got the Doritos Footlong Nachos from Subway. And later, we're trying the new Cheez-It Cheesy Taco. But let's jump into these Subway nachos here, shall we? I just walked in and these were freshly made. Obviously, I'm taste testing everything today, but we're not just doing taste tests here. This is Freakin' 2. We have to take it to the next level. And how am I taking the next level? I was kind of thinking about that. I was looking at some user reviews of these, and my first thought was, their nachos don't look like the ones in the advertising. And after watching mine being made at Subway, I kind of figured out why. So what I'm gonna do today is not only taste them, and not only recreate them, I'm gonna try to make my recreation look more like the advertising than they do. So first things first, let's crack this open and see how these nachos look. Now I did watch it being made, so I already had a kind of peek at it. And here's what we've got. I'm laughing. I'm laughing already. Now, not because the person making this did anything wrong. In fact, he did a fine job with what he was instructed to do. But look how little amounts in there. There's none spilling over whatsoever. It's like a quarter of what they show in the advertising. And by the way, I asked for an extra one of these, and the person was generous enough to hand it to me so I can make my own in here. Now the person making it put down a layer of Doritos. He actually just opened a bag and put that bag in there. Then he put the Monterey Jack cheddar. Then he put the cheese sauce and nuked it. After that he put the tomatoes, the jalapenos, and then the chipotle sauce. But it is really not a lot in there. Now you can get it with chicken or steak. I got mine plain for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm kind of a purist. But the other thing is I'm not real fond of the Subway chicken or steak, so I thought I'd just leave it off. I kind of wanted to try it without it anyways. Every time I have the chicken or steak, I'm like, I shouldn't have got that. I think you can also add avocado, which I didn't do either. Is it a foot long? I guess it is. That's good. Looking at the size of this compared to what they show in the advertising. Now let's take a look at the advertising here. Now this is the advertising. Now the advertising to me looks like the high school football star who scored 4 touchdowns in one game at Polk High School. What they're serving now looks kind of like the middle-aged shoe salesman whose family hates him. That doesn't mean it won't taste good though, but I really think that I can probably recreate something closer to what they did because there's just so little in here. But first things first, let's dive in and see how these taste. I'm gonna take a couple pieces here. Very cheesy. I only got this about 10 minutes ago and the Doritos are already getting kind of soggy. Let me get a jalapeno on here, but that chipotle sauce is really good though. Do they still have the motto of eat fresh? Because I've been seeing nothing but a stream of unhealthy food from them, from foot-long Oreos to foot-long nachos. Where's the fresh part of it? When you see this, do you think fresh? Do you think health food? I'm not complaining. I'm actually enjoying this, but I'm just wondering. I feel like this is the kind of thing that back in college we used to do ourselves. We would just throw a bunch of cheese with Doritos and nuke it. To me, the best thing on here is the chipotle sauce. The cheeses are good, but Doritos are already cheesy. The jalapenos are nice because they add some heat. But that chipotle sauce is the best tasting thing on here. After it starts to cool a little bit, everything kind of starts clumping together, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Look at that, a little floppy, a little bit floppy. The tomatoes get a little bit lost in the shuffle because there's so many other flavors in there, but when you get one, it's not bad, but not many of them. Yeah, they're getting limp. They are getting limp. As I'm eating this, the first thing that comes to mind is they're kind of taking a page out of Taco Bell's playbook where they just take a bunch of stuff they already have on hand, mix them together in a new way and call it a new item. Maybe they're just running out of new sandwich ideas. But you know, I'm not complaining. I think it's actually pretty good. The only problem with this is that the Doritos get soft really quick. The cheese almost holds them together. Whenever you don't have a lot of cheese, they get really floppy. Now apparently some people were getting other ingredients on there, but you're not really supposed to. I guess you're kind of breaking the rules if you put any things like lettuce on there. I just told the guy to make it as is with no meat or red onions. And he did a great job, but it's just so little in there. I mean, I like it. I'm not bashing these whatsoever. I'm more thinking about in terms of advertising. They have this photo of it just spilling over the sides when it's really, it didn't even come halfway up. So, you know, taste-wise, it's good. But if you're expecting what you see in the ads, you may be disappointed. Speaking of, I think it's time for me to see what I can do with this. So I'm gonna go grab my ingredients and see if I can come closer to what they're advertising than what I got from the Subway. Now, although I like the taste of this footlong nachos, I think the problem is that they're using one small bag of Doritos to line the base. When your base is small, everything else is gonna be small too. So I'm going with a big bag of Doritos here. We're gonna load this thing up. That's right. If I'm gonna act like a Subway employee, I've gotta have gloves like one. At least a good one. Now let's load this thing up properly here. None of this small bag of Doritos here. We gotta have it overflowing with them. I'm dropping them on the floor, I don't care. I don't care, I'm dropping them everywhere. Now that's more like what they're showing in the advertising. You know, like 4 touchdowns in one game, shoe salesman. The next thing they did was they added 2 layers of cheese. Get these gloves out of here, I don't need these. I'm eating the food anyways, I don't need these gloves. I thought it looked cool. Now the person making mine actually put on a pretty generous layer of cheese. By the way, I bought all these ingredients at the store yesterday. It was 22 bucks. Now you think 22 versus 5, 5 is a better deal, but I have enough to make about 10 helpings of it. Maybe not that many, but a lot. Next up I got some cheese sauce. This is just regular cheddar cheese sauce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how many he did. I was counting. That doesn't look like enough. Let's add some more. They always do that. They always bang on the counter. Next up, we nuke it. All right, look how lovely this looks already. I mean, we're already getting a pretty big difference here. Look at this. Next up, it was a layer of tomatoes, jalapenos, and then the chipotle sauce. The tomatoes were cut in slices and then quartered. I'm doing that. Tomatoes next. We're getting there. We are getting it. Already looks closer to the advertising. It already looks closer. Let's keep going. Kind of gently sprinkle these jalapenos around here. Now I've got some chipotle sauce to cap it off with. And here is the final creation here. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks a little bit closer to the advertising than the one I got. But the only thing that matters here is how it tastes. And do I think this is gonna taste good? I do. I do. Now, granted, I ate some of the one on the bottom there, but what do you guys think? I don't know. I'm gonna eat some of this now and see what we're looking at. That's pretty close in taste. Now, if you're wondering what chipotle sauce I use, this is the brand that I picked up, and it tastes quite good. Let's keep eating here. That's close. Tastes a little bit more of this original one here. All right, so the chipotle sauce is a little bit different flavor, but they're both pretty good. If you ate these a day apart, I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference. Maybe back and forth, you'd be able to tell the chipotle sauce is different, but everything else tastes the same. And mine looks more like the advertising than theirs does. On the other hand, I'm not bashing Subway, I'm just having fun with it. I had to go to the store and get the ingredients. I had to cut the tomatoes. I even had to fill these fancy containers so it would look right. You go to Subway, you don't do any of that. Someone else does it for you, and it's only $5. It may not be as much as the advertising shows, but I do think it's pretty good. I wish the advertising was a little more accurate, but for what it is, I enjoyed it. And with that, it's time to move on to the next item. Let's move on now to the Cheez-It Cheesy Taco flavor. Now looking at the box, they actually have a taco here. It looks kind of like a Taco Bell Supreme Taco. Let's see how these look. Oh, they look kind of like a regular Cheez-Its. Let's compare some regular Cheez-Its. This is a Cheesy Taco, this is the regular. Now, if you're watching a review of a generic YouTube food review channel, not that there's anything wrong with those, but if you're watching one of those, it might go something a little bit like this. Tastes good, tastes kind of like a taco. At Freakin' 2, we do something a little bit like this. Can I have 2 Supreme Tacos and a medium Pepsi Zero, please? All right, I'm back from Taco Bell. Let me take a couple bites of these Cheez-Its here. Cheesy Taco Cheez-Its. You can see there is another color on there, although it's not really a cheese color, it's almost blue. It's not supposed to be blue cheese, is it? Let's compare to regular Cheez-It. Regular Cheez-Its on the left, the Cheesy Taco on the right. If you look very closely, there is a coating on the Cheesy Taco that is not on the regular Cheez-It. Now on first taste, it just seems like they put a somewhat cheesy coating on a regular Cheez-It. It still has that kind of smoky flavor. It definitely has that Cheez-It flavor to it. Texture's the same. There's a bit of a powderiness to the Cheesy Taco the other one doesn't have. It's subtle, it's mild, it's not that bad though. But here at F2, we gotta try against the real thing. Here's a taco from Taco Bell. Cheesy Taco Cheez-It. I love Cheez-Its, but let's put some of these on the taco. Let's put it on the taco here. Oh, it just fell out the bottom. Oh man, it's chaos in here. Good thing we have a spare. Got meat all over. I got meat on my table. Now, what's up with it? Come on, Taco Bell. I mean, I only picked these up about 10 minutes ago. What's up with this? Oh, come on now. Oh, brutal Taco Bell. And this one's missing the tomatoes. Get back. I'm going back to the original. Come on, Taco Bell. You're messing up my review here. I'm gonna have to eat it like almost like a tostada. I'm putting these cheeses back on here, and the meat. I'm just getting my hands all in it. I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna close this all up. Take a bite. Get all, I don't care, I'm getting everywhere. Putting the cheeses back in there. Here we go. Try some more of that. What a mess. What an absolute mess, Taco Bell. You're ruining my, this isn't supposed to be about Taco Bell. All right, I got a bunch of cheeses on here again. All right, so what have we learned about these Cheez-Its now? To me, it has like a nacho cheese flavor to it. I wouldn't say taco. I don't taste any meat. I don't taste any lettuce or tomatoes or sour cream. I taste nacho cheese. I'm not saying it's bad. I actually enjoy them. They're pretty good. I mean, I would certainly keep eating these, but on a scale of 1 to 10 accuracy wise, it's like a 3. But on the Cheez-It scale, with the original Cheez-Its being a 10, this is pretty much up there with the original. So good flavor, not that accurate. But that's about enough for this video. I think I've eaten enough for the day. But going back to those Subway nachos for 1 second here, what I'd probably do if I were gonna do it again is I'd put a smaller layer of Doritos, then cheese, and another layer, and then more cheese. Because when I got to the bottom there's a lot of Doritos that had nothing on them. But on the other hand, I still think mine look better than theirs, but theirs isn't really a bad deal for $5. And actually, I didn't mind the taste of it. It's not health food, but it was pretty good. But that's all I've got. If you've tried any of these flavors, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.